Okay, class. Today we are going to discuss about the selection statements in C. So basically, there are four types of selection statements or decision-making statements in C. The first one is known as if statement, and we have if else statement. Similarly, we have if statement, and then switch statement. We are going to discuss each one of these in detail. So let us discuss about if statement. So if statement is the one-way decision making statement. It is known as one-way decision making statement because it only states what to do when the condition is true. It never evaluates the course when the condition is false. So its syntax is like this: if in the parentheses the conditions are given, then the curly braces, then set of statements which are to be executed if the condition is to be true, and the end of an curly braces. So let's move on to our next section, that is if else statement. It is a two-way decision making statement. It is two-way decision making statement because it evaluates the condition, and if the condition is true, it executes certain statements, and if the condition is false, it evaluates the optional set of statements, like it is shown in the syntax. If condition is true, then the set of statements which conditions are true are to be executed, and else is the default conditions where rest of the conditions, if the condition is false, then this else statement would be executed, and it is shown in the syntax block. So let's move on to our next section. It is if else statement. If else statement is known as multi-way decision making statements or multi-way decision making statement. It is known so because instead of just stating what is to be done if the condition is true or false, it states multiple conditions. For example, if condition 1 is true, then the set of statements when condition 1 is true are to be executed, and if this condition is not true, it evaluates the another conditions. That is, it is written like this in C syntax: else if condition 2, and if this condition is true, then the set of statements when condition 2 is true are to be executed. And similarly, it evaluates the conditions as per the programming requirement. And suppose the last condition to be checked is nth condition, and it will check like this: else if condition n, and if this condition is true, then the set of statements when condition n is true are to be executed, and if none of these above conditions are true, the default condition to be executed is the else block. The else block is to be executed, and it is written like this. So basically, this is the syntax of if else if statement. If else if statement gives us the power to check more than one condition and at a certain program. So yeah, so let us suppose the example, like we are calculating a result of a school or of a class. Then we need to obviously calculate more than one condition. So the possible conditions would be like, if the student has achieved 80 marks or above in certain subjects, and he would be stated as a distinction, or if the student has secured 60 mark or above, he would have been called for first division, and similarly, and so on, so on. So in short, if else if statement is, it gives us the power to uh, check multiple conditions, and on the basis of which condition is true, the equivalent set of statements would have been executed. So let's move on to the next section, and next section is about switch statement. Switch statement is little bit similar like if else if statement. So it is similar in the sense, like it is also a multi-way decision making statement. It also gives us the power and flexibility to carry on with multiple conditions. So the syntax is written like this: the keyword switch is written, and in the parentheses the variable is to be executed. But the thing which is to be noticed while writing switch statement is that the variable which is inside the parentheses must be of integral type or the constant. It cannot take floating values or so on. So switch statement, then the curly braces is started, then the case value 1. The value 1 would be the values that the variable can hold. So in short, the value 1 would be the value like integral values 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on, or it could be characters like A, B, C, D and so on. So at last of the case value, the colon is put up. This is the syntax of the case, and if this value is matched, the variable's value is value 1, then the setup statement are to be executed inside this block, and there are no curly braces, which indicates that the case value 1 is finished. So in short, to uh, jump out of this switch statement, if case 1 is evaluated, we use break statement. Break statement throws us out of the switch statement if case 1 is evaluated. So is similarly, we write case value 2 colon, then the set of statements which are true if case value 2 is matched, and then similarly break keyword, similarly and so on and so on. Suppose if this is the nth condition or nth value of an variable, so we write case value n and then set of statements and then break. So in if Elseif statement, we write else block. Else is the default block which is executed if none of the above statements or none of the above conditions are true. In a very similar sense, switch statements uses default block, which work exactly like the else block in if else if statement. So default block, we do not need to write the break keyword, as we know that this is the last block, the final block of the switch statement, and the curly braces, it indicates that the switch statement has been end. So that's all for now. If you like my videos, please hit the like or subscribe button. I will be making more videos. Stay tuned. Thank you.